It's been 4 years since I started being being sugar baby. He got bored of me and dumped me. I was originally going to pull the whole crying and making a scene routine to make him stay, putting on a performance of being deeply in love, just like I've done 1,000 times before, just to make him feel satisfied. But the live comments floating in front of me are saying, Bai Ningbing is serious this time. He's fallen for someone else. This really is the last time we'll ever see each other. Suddenly, I froze. While quietly letting the tears fall, I used my pinky to snag the bills on the floor and curled them into my palm. Then I tucked them deep into my sleeve. The female lead is for real this time. Does this side character really think he's still flirting with her? Yup. She just wants to break up fast, so she can go find our Xiangqiang. Fang Yuan is so annoying for clinging on like this. It was 3 minutes ago, right when Bai Ningbing was dumping me, that I started seeing these comments. Usually when Bai Ningbing tried to break up with me, he was mostly just throwing a tantrum. He just wanted to see me crying my eyes out, begging him not to leave. I had just worked up enough emotion to start wailing, but the sound got choked back by these comments. I looked up again. The woman in front of me was as elegant as ever, dressed in a white dress, falling all the way to her ankles. Every fold looked soft and perfect, but the watch on her wrist, it wasn't the one I gave her for her birthday last year. Instead, it was a cheap, generic brand. Something Bai Ningbing would have never touched before. The comments kept scrolling. They said, does Fang Yuan seriously have zero self-awareness? Look at how cold she's acting. And he's still hanging on. Just take the money and get lost already. I looked up at Bai Ningbing. Those familiar eyes that I had traced countless times over the past 3 years. This time, effortlessly, I saw nothing but coldness in her gaze. Those eyes that were once so full of affection no longer had a place for me. In that moment, I knew the comments were telling the truth, so I stopped the drama I was about to start. In a slightly raspy voice, I asked her, so, what's my breakup fee? Like she didn't expect me to be so blunted. Bai Ningbing flinched for a second. Then, she pulled out a stack of cash. With a casual toss, bright red bills scattered all over the floor. She looked at me coldly, waiting for my next reaction. I stood there, biting my lip, watching the live comments scroll by at lightning speed. Pick it up, Fang Yuan. This is your last chance to cash out. She finally sees him for who he really is. Humiliating him with money on purpose. Savage. He finally gets it now, right? Besides, our Qiang, everyone else is just after her money. Only Qiang is truly pure and untainted. Wait, wasn't Fang Yuan actually dating her? Why make the breakup this ugly? She's low-key trash for this. Shut up, you don't know anything. He's just a gold-digging boy toy. He's taking the money anyway, so why talk about dignity? Everyone has a right to dignity, period. While the comments were fighting, I had already gathered all the scattered cash, neatened it up, and tucked it into my bag. Even if the comments were harsh, they were right about one thing. This was my last chance to get any money from her. I had to make it count. Maybe my exit was a bit too smooth. As I turned to leave, I glanced back at Bai Ningbing. Her face was so dark she looked ready to snap, almost by instinct. After 3 years of intense training, my eyes reflexively welled up. I gave her a look full of longing, until those mocking comments flashed across my eyes again. Then, I finally snapped out of it. Biting my lower lip, I said quietly, maybe you should go first. Bai Ningbing didn't say a word. She just walked out with a cold face. I watched her walk away, thinking about all the bags and jewelry she'd given me over the years. My heart actually hurt. Only now did I dare to let go, and let the tears blur my vision. This is probably the last time we'll see each other. Goodbye, Bai Ningbing. Whoa, wait. Why does he look legit upset? I thought he only cared about money? Why the tears? Seeing the comments, I quickly looked down and wiped my face. When I looked up, Bai Ningbing, who was walking ahead, had turned back at some point. She was looking at me with a complicated expression. I was terrified she wanted the money back, so I turned around and booked it with my bag. My white sneakers accidentally hit a loose floor tile, splashing dirty water all over them. I'll admit, I looked pretty pathetic running away like that. But at least, I made it out. That night, in my rental, I was counting my cash while applying for jobs. The 70K breakup fee Bai Ningbing gave me. I'd deposited it at the bank the second I left the villa area. If she'd just given me 30K more, I'd finally have 5 million in savings. The economy is rough right now, so I don't dare to invest. Fixed deposits have low interest, but at least I won't lose my shirt. Once the math was done, I lay on the bed and finally let the sadness hit. Missing the money was real, but missing Bai Ningbing was real too. When I first graduated, I got scammed out of my 20K savings by a shady agent. Then I ended up at a toxic company. That didn't pay for the 3-month internship. Then fired me on the last day for no reason. I was so broke I couldn't even eat. That's when I met Bai Ningbing. Maybe you only get lucky when you hit rock bottom. I've always been told I look plain, but I happen to be exactly her type. She was so generous. 100K a month. Expensive gifts. I couldn't pay her back, so I just tried harder to flatter her. She liked it when I was clingy and acted cute. To be better at keeping her happy, I even took acting classes. I could make 30% love look like 100. But, actually, after everything she did for me, my love for her was already way past 100. Luck came fast, and it left even faster. I lay there staring at the ceiling, wondering how I'd survive tomorrow, when those weird comments started scrolling again. What is wrong with the female lead? Letting Qian Qiang find out about the boy toy. Now, Qian Qiang is mad. Poor baby. If I remember right, Fang Yuan was with her first, though. The male lead's anger makes 0 sense. Shut up. He's just a boy toy. He doesn't count. He's not the real deal. The comments were a total mess. Just as my eyes were getting tired, one super bright comment ended the debate. Is she crazy? She actually wants to use him to make Qian Qiang jealous. Let's see if Fang Yuan actually has the face to agree. The second the comment vanished, my phone rang. Lahi Club, room K305. Bai Ningbing's voice was short and direct. I thought about that last comment and felt a bit guilty. We broke up. Maybe I shouldn't. I'll give you another 50K. Make it 300K and I'm there. I hopped on my bike and pedaled toward the location she sent. The comments on the way were absolutely roasting me. But let them talk. 300K for one night. If it were them, they'd probably run here faster than I did. Bai Ningbing wants me to simp for her in front of the male lead. At this point, I've pretty much accepted my place. But the moment I stepped into the VIP room, before I could even get the word darling out, my smile froze right on my face, because the person standing in front of me was a Qian Qiang everyone in the comments was talking about. It was Fang Qiang, the fake heir who kicked me out of my family years ago. Under Fang Qiang's affectionate gaze, that 300K suddenly didn't feel so important anymore. I went quiet. But Bai Ningbing was still waiting for me. She told me to come over, and I just went along with it, totally zoned out, noticing I wasn't feeling it. Bai Ningbing's expression. She even forgot to deal with Fang Qiang, the guy she was supposedly obsessed with. She just stared at me with her brows furrowed in jealousy. Only when the comments mentioned the male lead again did she seem to snap back to reality. She grabbed me and pulled me close right in front of Fang Qiang, and as expected, Fang Qiang's eyes turned red with pure envy. In that moment, I just felt like this was all so pointless. So I pressed my palm against her chest, pushing her an arm's length away. I fumbled through my pockets for a while, and finally tossed a set of keys in front of her. I only came here today to return the keys you left at my place. I tried my best to sound like I was totally over it, but my voice was shaking. Honestly, I had no idea what those keys were for. Bai Ningbing's house has a fingerprint lock, but I bet she didn't know that either. I could hear people snickering around us. It was Bai Ningbing's friends. I know they've always looked down on me, just like the non-stop comments on the screen. They probably thought I was just playing hard to get. A wave of anger flared up in my chest. I suddenly pointed a finger at Bai Ningbing. A good ex should act like they're dead. Got it? Don't ever bother me again. I didn't even have the courage to look at her again. I just turned around and ran, leaving that dead silence behind me as I bolted out the door. Only when I was leaning against a wall did I start sobbing. Bai Ningbing dumping me was one thing, but the fact that she chose Fang Qiang really hurt. I was only 17 when Fang Qiang stole my parents and kicked me out of my own home. Half the hunger and bullying I've faced all these years was his doing. I was waiting to build up enough success to have that epic revenge moment like in a web novel. But now, how did Bai Nangbing become Fang Xiang's biggest supporter? I bit my lip to keep from making a sound, but the sadness was overwhelming. I was shaking from crying so hard. Seeing me like this, the comments went silent. Damn, I low-key feel bad for the side character. Yeah ha. Any more of this and then I catch feelings. What do you mean, feel bad? My life is a literal tragedy. Finally, after nearly blowing a snot bubble, I just let it all out. I crouched down and cried my heart out. Then I looked up and saw a tissue being held out to me. The person in front of me had one hand over her ear, looking at me with a complicated expression. Do you really love her that much? Is she worth torturing yourself like this? It was Bai Weisheng, Bai Nangbing's younger sister. Since I didn't say anything, she suddenly knelt down and wiped away the tears on my face. I used to think you were just a glutton and a gold digger. I didn't realize your feelings were so real. You even yelled at her just so she could move on. That's actually kinda noble. Her voice softened, and her ears turned bright red. She hesitated for a while before speaking. Fang Yuan, how about you be with me instead? I promise I'll treat you way better than she did. I stared at her blankly. She scratched her head, looking a bit shy. If you're with me, you're my boyfriend. I won't let anyone push you around. Everything my sister gave you, I'll give you too. Even the 100K a month. Fine, then it's a deal. I agreed so fast it actually stunned her. Bai Yuecheng just stood there frozen, before a huge look of joy spread across her face. Before she could even say anything, the tall figure of Bai Nangbing stepped out from the shadows. Then a comment popped up. El Male. The female lead actually thought he loved her. She even bet her friends that he'd reject her sister without a second thought. As the comment scrolled by, it finally hit me. Bai Nangbing had been watching me cry this whole time. She just coldly watched until she saw me accept her sister's offer. Only then did she step out from the dark. She looked at me coldly, then down at our hands, clutched tightly together. She started to move toward us. But Bai Yueching immediately stepped in front of me. She gave her sister a cheeky grin. Hey sis, aren't you going to congratulate me on my new boyfriend? All these years, weren't you always bugging mom and dad about me being single? Well, I found someone. You should be happy for me. Bai Nangbing looked livid, but Bai Yueching just ignored it. Actually, don't worry about the congrats. Because I think I'd rather just spend some quality time with my new boyfriend. Your boyfriend? Bai Nangbing looked like she was about to snap. Her voice was literally dripping with anger. But Bai Yuesheng just played dumb. She held up our joined hands for her to see. Yeah, my boyfriend. When her eyes landed on my bare ring finger, Bai Nangbing's pupils practically shrunk. She looked like she was going to explode. It was terrifying. I instinctively hid behind Bai Yuesheng. The comments were going wild again, and the female lead thought he actually loved her. Break up in the morning. Rings sold by nightfall. Told you he was a total scumbag. Only our Qiang truly loves her. He's the only one not after her money. Maybe I was imagining it. But Bai Nangbing's face seemed to get even darker after that comment appeared. But Bai Yuecheng didn't care. She pulled me out from behind her. Yeah, my boyfriend. She looked at her sister defiantly. Why are you still here, sis? Are you just here to watch us get cozy? She suddenly grabbed my head and looked like she was going to kiss me. This was moving way too fast. I froze up, unsure of what to do. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Bai Nangbing's fists clenching tight. That's her about to snap tell. But right at that moment, Fang Qiang showed up. He grabbed her arm. Where have you been? It's so boring without you. He didn't even look at us. He just focused on her with that annoying whiny voice. The second he appeared, Bai Nangbing's anger seemed to instantly vanish. She even put on this super gentle look for him. She touched his face. Just getting some air. Sorry to keep you waiting. As her kept man for 3 years, I'd literally never seen her act that sweet. Then, Bai Yuesheng tickled my palm. I looked at her, and she just rolled her eyes at them. She mouthed to me. They've been hooking up behind your back. What a couple of trash heaps. And my sister treats him like he's some prize. I almost laughed at her expression, but then I remembered. They were standing right there, and my smile vanished, as if she read my mind. Bai Yuecheng reached out and ruffled my hair. Let's leave this spot to them. Let's go somewhere else for our date. Just as she was about to leave, Fang Qiang called out from behind. Yuecheng! He called Bai Yuecheng's name, but his eyes were dead set on me. Putting on a totally conflicted, pick-me act, he hesitated forever before saying, I'm happy you found someone you like, but you've been so sheltered. It's easy for you to get scammed. You really need to keep your eyes peeled around certain people. The live comments started blowing up again. The male lead is seriously so sweet. Our baby, Changqiang, is literally an angel. Not only did he save the elf from that trash, now he's actively looking out for the second FL, making sure she doesn't get played. Exactly. Amidst all the glazing, only one comment stood out like a sore thumb. If I remember correctly, didn't the male lead hook up with the F-elf? Before the side character even broke up with her. You guys are calling a literal homewrecker redemption. That comment only lasted a few seconds before being completely buried by a flood of trash doesn't deserve the main spot. You're actually defending the side character. You must be trash too. I looked down as those brain-dead comments flooded in. I pursed my lips out of habit. Whatever. It's not like I haven't been roasted to death before, and it's not just the comments. Ever since the day I got with Bai Nangbing, this kind of gossip has never stopped. The Bai Nangbing standing opposite me suddenly spoke up coldly. 500k, what are your orders, boss? I answered, almost by reflex. But when I looked up, I met Bai Nangbing's mocking gaze. She stared dead in my eyes and enunciated every word. I'll give you 500k to leave my sister alone. Nangbing, why are you even giving him money? People like him come from the bottom. Yet their greed is bigger than the sky. The more you spoil them like this, the more insatiable they get. Fang Xiang said this, while giving her a coy, scolding look, and then supernaturally linked his arm with hers, showing off to me. As his sleeve slipped down, I clearly saw on his wrist the exact same cheap couple's watch as Bai Nangbing's. I suddenly remembered the spoilers from the comments. The male lead is currently wearing his poor innocent boy persona to get Bai Nangbing's attention. Once Bai Nangbing falls madly in love with him, but gets scared of being scammed again, he'll have this epic reveal that he's actually a rich heir. This whole resilient poor boy act is literally just a script he uses to pick up girls. Thinking of this, I almost broke character and laughed out loud. So this is his playbook for manipulating Bai Nangbing. I remembered back when I was kicked out of the Fang family. Fang Qiang stood at the door, pretending to be nice to see me off. He even thoughtfully shoved his old unwanted suitcase into my hands. He said, then brother, this trashy suitcase suits you perfectly. Class is something that's in your bones. It's not something you get just from blood ties. Like me, I've had an elite education since childhood. Mom and dad poured endless resources into me, which is why I have my current elegance and manners. As for you, Fang Yuan, this is it for you. You'll never bounce back. Instead of being shameless and trying to squeeze into high society, you should just roll back to your little suburban town. It's not too late to go back and grind for exams. You might even score a 3-a-month job. He lectured me with such absolute certainty back then. A broke loser to the bone. Could wear all the luxury brands in the world and still not look rich. And now look at this mess. A max-level rich heir is standing here cosplaying as a broke guy. This magical world is truly ridiculous. I looked up at the pitch-black sky, took a deep breath, and turned to casually drop, mind your own damn business. Are you sick in the head? Bai Yuecheng and I yelled at almost the exact same time. The purely confused mind. Your own damn business was her. And the hyper-aggressive are you sick in the head was me. After yelling, we looked at each other in perfect sync. We both saw the let's cause some chaos spark in each other's eyes. Instantly, I puffed up my chest, strutted right up to them, pointed right at Bai Nangbing's nose and started going off. 500 kika. You're acting like it's 50 million. I have 500k in my pocket right now, okay? It's not like I haven't seen the world. So stop acting like some edgy CEO. After roasting her, I aimed my shaking finger at Fang Qiang. and just kept the combo going. And you think you're so noble? You stole my biological parents, see? Living it up as a rich heir wasn't enough for you. Now you have to come out here and play poor. You used to look down on us small-town grinders. And now you're literally stealing our whole aesthetic. You're just the main character of the universe, huh? By the time I screamed the last word, my voice literally cracked from the tension. My nose was stinging, and tears traitorously started welling up in my eyes. Honestly, I'm usually never this bold, but everyone has their breaking point. Who could stand being walked all over like this? I already chose to walk away, yet they still chased me down to execute me. Besides, I saw it crystal clear just now. Bai Yuechen was fully ready to back me up. She's the favorite daughter of the Bai family. Even Bai Ningbing can't do anything to her. With this massive carry right in front of me, I'd be dumb not to tag along. I decided to just use this chance to let out all the anger I'd been bottling up. Otherwise, when I got home tonight, I'd just be wrapped in my blanket alone, too pissed off to sleep, with my brain looping all the perfect comebacks I should have said. The more I'd replay it, the madder I'd get, until I literally gave myself an aneurysm from stress. All those fake scenarios don't even compare to pointing right at their faces and yelling, "You two are massive idiots." That felt so good. Even if I was currently bawling my eyes out while cursing them out, my nose still stung. I spun around, grabbed Bai Yucheng's wrist, and started walking. "Let's go. Don't pay attention to these losers." I was sobbing and swearing at the same time, and I inhaled so sharply I actually choked on my own spit, coughing so hard my lungs almost exploded. But even then I forced my back to stay completely straight, trying to leave that toxic couple with an image of a proud, untouchable silhouette. But, obviously, no one but me thought I looked proud. To them, I probably just looked as pathetic as a stray dog. At least, that's what the live comments thought. They started spamming the chat again. Damn, why does it feel like the side character is actually heartbroken this time? Did he actually fall in love with the FL? Yeah, for real. We've called him a gold digger and a scumbag for so long. Did you not see him literally reject the money just now? Bro, are you guys deaf? Did you miss the part where he wanted 50 million at first? Wait, is it? Is there any chance the side character is doing this to make the L completely give up on him? And this is all just an act? I think so too. The whole internet clowned him for loving money. But when the L threw money at him, he stood his ground and refused. And even pointed at her nose and roasted her twice. And now he's intentionally holding the second FL's hand and walking away. If this move isn't to make the FL jealous, what is it? What if he's just a top-tier manipulator? Maybe this is his high IQ playing hard to get strategy. Please, playing hard to get my ass. Who the hell cries with snot running down their face while playing hard to get? I think he's 100% genuinely heartbroken. I couldn't even bear to look at the rest of the comments. So I just awkwardly put my head down and speed-walked forward. Fang Yuan, Bai Nangbing's slightly cracked shout, was left far behind me. I was with her for 4 years, and I rarely heard her sound so out of control and panic. But I didn't dare stop for even a second. Hearing the voice, Bai Yucheng next to me, just straight up dragged me into a sprint. Ignore her. Ignore her. Run, run, whatever you do, don't stop. Eventually, she literally just scooped me up, running faster than a rabbit. It wasn't until we hastily dived into her sports car. Bai Yuesheng thoughtfully buckled my seatbelt and slammed the gas pedal to the floor. Little wheels, go as fast as you can. She was aggressively turning the steering wheel, while muttering this edgy, anime-style stuff. I really wanted to tell her that no one was actually chasing us. But seeing how hyped she was playing fast and furious, I ended up swallowing my words. Late that night, the young lady drove me home herself. Looking at my cramped, run-down little rental apartment, Bai Yuecheng suddenly got fully into character. She crossed her arms, acting all sunderin, standing at the door, and pouting, "Does your house only have a bedroom?" I was busy double-checking if the $20 bill I left on the shoe cabinet before going out had been moved by anyone. Hearing that, I looked up at her. Back when I was with Bai Ningbing, I didn't interact much with Bai Yuecheng, but every time Bai Ningbing brought her up, she always sounded frustrated that she wasn't living up to expectations. But, looking at this slightly childish girl in front of me now, I couldn't help but feel that she was way better than that group of stuck-up, snobby rich girls hanging around Bai Nangbing. Maybe I stared at her for too long. Bai Yue Shang started looking a bit uncomfortable. She frustratingly ran a hand through her hair and scratched her cheek a couple of times. Finally, like a deflated balloon, she just squatted down next to me and said, "I originally thought you'd be like that Fang Shang," being all dramatic and saying, "You can have money, but you can't use money to insult my dignity." That kind of BS. I feel like my sister totally eats that apple. I gave her a weird look. It actually is tiny here, and I literally rent a run-down studio, so it obviously only has a bedroom. You just stated a straight fact. Why would I get triggered? We normal working-class people aren't fragile psychos. Hearing this, Bai Yue-chang seemed to think it made sense, so she dropped the exaggerated act and actually started helping me check every corner of the room thoroughly. Security around here hasn't been great lately. Even though my place is alright, I do have some savings on me now, so it's better to be safe than sorry. After checking, we each opened a cheap little yogurt box and sat side by side on the bay window looking at the night view. Bai Yue Chang copied me, sticking out her tongue to lick the yogurt lid. The cheap white yogurt got stuck on her upper lip like a milk mustache. She suddenly asked me, "Fang Yuan, what are you going to do now?" I didn't answer for a long time. Bai Yue Chang turned to look at me, only to realize my eyes were red again. For a second, she was totally at a loss for what to do. "You're still thinking about her, aren't you? All that toughness earlier was just you faking a smile, right? Stop pushing yourself so hard. Here, you can lean on my shoulder." She said that while patting her own skinny shoulder, and her hand hesitantly reached out to hold me, but eventually stopped mid-air. "Can I?" She looked at me, asking carefully. "I want to go back to my hometown and start a chicken farm." I finally recovered from the massive mental whiplash of dealing with 300 key, 500 key, and dropping back down to a 3-5K monthly salary, and was ready to embrace my new miserable reality. When I looked up, I saw Bai Yu Cheng's hand still frozen in mid-air. Her expression was completely frozen, looking at me like I was crazy. I instinctively touched my face and quickly replayed the conversation in my head. Nothing wrong there, I was literally just answering her question. Then why do you want to raise chickens? Bai Yue Cheng really is a rich kid. She adjusted her mood instantly and started seriously discussing this startup idea with me. Because the chicken farm in my hometown got burned down. Burned down by who? Who is that evil to not even spare the poor chickens? By my own grandma, I sighed, looking through the dusty window glass that hadn't been cleaned in ages, and let out a deep, weary sigh. It's actually a super long and dramatic story. Long story short, when I was a kid, I looked different from most people in the village, and I looked absolutely nothing like my grandparents. Plus, I had never seen my parents growing up. People in the village were gossiping, saying I wasn't my grandparents' biological grandson. Around that time, village officials came to our school for a legal awareness session, and they specifically talked about anti-trafficking. I overthought it, assumed I was a kidnapped kid, and literally packed my bags and ran away overnight. And then, Bai Yu Cheng was totally hooked. And then my grandparents borrowed an electric tricycle from the village, trying to chase after me. Turns out my grandma slammed the gas pedal to the floor on that crappy tricycle and crashed straight into a tree. Then what? Bai Yu Cheng was stuttering. Then the tree fell over, the trunk crashed down, and perfectly smashed my grandpa's outdoor cooking stove. Sparks flew everywhere and accidentally burned the small chicken coop next to it to the ground. So, that's what happened. Bai Yu Cheng just started looking sympathetic. But then her eyes shifted, sharply catching the loophole. Wait, I thought it was a chicken farm. Why is it suddenly just a small chicken coop? Hearing that, I helplessly threw my hands up. Oh, think about it. The chickens in the coop were supposed to lay eggs, right? And those eggs would hatch into more chickens. Based on this exponential, infinite glitch reproduction rate, I basically owe those two elders a massive chicken farm by now. So you hustling this hard for money, and your career now is actually so you can throw money at a startup in your hometown later, right? I nodded heavily. Exactly. I definitely have to go back. Honestly, I wasn't stupid. I knew their whole chickens lay eggs. Eggs hatch chickens BS theory was just to guilt trip me. The only thing I actually needed to pay them back for was that wrecked tricycle they borrowed from the neighbors. but they never actually rushed me to pay them back. The day I ran away, the whole village searched the entire mountain for me. They finally found me not too far from a bear cave, freezing, shivering under a tree root, face covered in mud, desperately gnawing on a cold, dry, steamed bun. My grandma was going crazy with worry. She was wailing while smacking me as hard as she could. Right at that moment, while getting beat, I had an epiphany. I have to go back. There's no deep philosophy or complex reason. Just purely because the people who truly love me are there. I really miss them. Coming to the city to reunite with my biological family was, honestly, just a massive, desperate gamble for me. My grandparents are getting older, and their health isn't what it used to be. So I figured, since my rich biological parents, whom I'd never met, had such deep pockets and massive influence, even if they just let a tiny bit of resources and money slip through their fingers for me, it'd be enough for me to give my grandparents a good retirement. But I was too naive. The more top-tier the wealthy family, the more cold-blooded they are. The Fang family, taking me, their biological son, back, was just them sizing me up to see what kind of trash I turned into after all these years outside, to see if I could bring any benefit or leverage to their massive family empire. But unfortunately, my grandparents only taught me to be warm-hearted, to be sincere and kind, and to never forget my roots. But in this cutthroat Vanity Fair, what you really need is hypocrisy, a mouth full of lies, cold-bloodedness, and ruthlessness. Not long after I came to the bustling Yun city, I was predictably eliminated and kicked out by the Fang family. They watched coldly, letting Fang Qiang use his dirty little tricks behind my back to bully me, frame me, and eventually perfectly justify throwing me out on the street. In the eyes of those capitalists, it was just proof of Fang Qiang's ruthlessness and maturity. But there was nothing I could do. I'd confidently promised my grandparents that, since I made it to the big city, I'd grind hard and study well. No matter what, I had to at least get into a legit college and find a decent, flashy job, so I could go back home looking successful. That's why right after I got kicked out, I lived worse than a stray dog. But it's fine. I made it through. Bai Yueqing's hand gently rested on the back of my hand, a warm touch traveling through my skin. I looked up and was shocked to see this rich girl crying her eyes out, tears streaming down her face. Wow, I knew you were different from that pick-me Fang Qiang. How can someone just fake being poor? She frantically pulled out a tissue, haphazardly pressing it against her smudged, teary eyes. While casually trying to grab the cheap yogurt box from my hand, I instinctively slapped the back of her hand. What are you doing? Only one per day. Drink more, and how are we supposed to survive? I scolded her almost completely out of instinct. Who knew Bai Yueqing would cry even harder after being yelled at? Exactly. Wah-ha. It's exactly this stingy, broke boy energy. Wah. Once she finally finished crying and venting, she blinked her swollen red eyes and sat up perfectly straight in front of me. She said between sobs, I really feel so bad for you, Fang Yuan. Just looking at you forcing a smile makes me feel like you're literally about to shatter. Can I hug you? I looked at her quietly. Honestly, underneath the rich heiress hello, Bai Yueqing is really just an innocent girl. Her hair is all fluffy, like a little animal, and even the eyes looking at me are soft and watery, still wet with tears like morning dew, showing a purity untouched by the real world. I sighed helplessly, leaned over and gave her a gentle hug to comfort her. Then I immediately stood up and mercilessly pushed her toward the door. All right. Has the princess experienced enough of the peasant's suffering? Go home and go to bed. This broke dog has to wake up early tomorrow to catch the subway for a job interview. Wait, then Bai Bing. Bai Yueqing already had one foot out the door, but suddenly turned around, gripping the door frame for dear life like she just remembered something, and dropped that classic K-drama line. Then tell me right now, what exactly are we? She stared at me with hyper-focused eyes, filled with anxiety and anticipation. I annoyedly rubbed my throbbing temples, looking at this troublesome rich girl with a headache. After waiting forever without getting my response, Bai Yueqing's aura visibly deflated, and she started losing her confidence. She carefully tested the waters and asked, earlier in the VIP room, didn't you agree to be my boyfriend? And now? Are you just gonna act like it never happened? Are we done? Hearing this, my jaw almost hit the floor. Girl, weren't you purely using me as a meat shield and playing around? Don't even try to say you didn't do it just to piss off your sister. And disgust that pick-me boy, Fang Qiang, while you were at it. Stop capping. I saw right through it, because you've always hated Fang Qiang's smug, punchable face, haven't you? And hated the future brother-in-law her sister found for her. So she fought him, and went against him at every turn, swearing to expose this man's true colors, until she finally realized that his heart was just as pure and flawless as he appeared on the outside. It was only then that she woke up and realized that she had actually fallen for him a long time ago. But unfortunately, he was already her brother-in-law. So, Bai Yueqing never married for the rest of her life, spending her entire life silently protecting him. That's how the comments positioned her. No, I really did think that way at first. But I changed my mind a long time ago. My confession to you tonight was totally genuine. But you're way too smart, aren't you? You're a really perceptive guy. Those dark thoughts I had before, you knew them all perfectly. Like I had nowhere to hide. I rubbed the bridge of my nose, too embarrassed to tell her that I got all of this from the live comments. I just kept my head down and played dumb, hoping she would leave soon. But Bai Yueqing was very persistent. Everything before doesn't matter. I'm just asking you, are you willing now? Still 100k a month. Okay, sis. Before Bai Yueqing left, she added my contact info. Right in front of me. She changed her nickname for me to Blowing the Wind's boyfriend, and pinned our chat. After she got home, she texted me right away. She told me to see me tomorrow. Fang Yuan, Bai Yueqing and Bai Ningbing are completely different people. In the past, when I was with Bai Ningbing, I was always trying to figure out and cater to her preferences. I felt like a doll custom made for Bai Ningbing. But Bai Yueqing said she liked me being myself. I recalled in my mind, we hadn't really interacted that much, but she actually said she liked me being myself. So the next day I took off my suit, put on my favorite plaid shirt, and wore jeans and sneakers to our date. To my surprise, Bai Yueqing dressed exactly the same. We looked at each other, and then, in each other's eyes, we saw a huge surprise. No one had ever vibed with me like this before. When I was eating, she snagged my last piece of tissue. When I bent down to tie my shoe, she leapfrogged over me. When I was chasing her to hit her, she suddenly pulled out a huge bouquet of flowers from behind her back. She was so annoying and mischievous, it drove me crazy. But I had no friends in this city, let alone close friends or bros I could share things with it. So, I still ended up looking for Bai Yueqing. She was lighting fireworks on the coastal highway at the time. It was noisy all around. I cupped my hands around my mouth like a megaphone and jumped next to her. The wind made my voice very quiet. I had to lean in and shout, Bai Yueqing, you're so unique. What? I like you too. She held up a sparkler, turned around and said, let's go on a date to the amusement park, to a coffee shop, to the movies, to a good restaurant. Never has anyone taken me to so many fun places. We didn't have these in the countryside before. Later, when I came to the city, I was too poor. I couldn't afford to go to these places. And then Bai Ningbing didn't like me showing my face in public, so I could only wait for her at home, or go with her to those fancy events, acting like a proper piece of arm candy. Bai Yueqing was different. I felt like she actually treated me like a human being, just like she promised at the beginning. She treated me exactly how Bai Ningbing treated me. So she would also give me gifts from time to time. A nice hairdryer, comfortable new slippers. Occasionally, she would even get me a cute fridge magnet or two. These things were kept by me at home. I used to sell the stuff I got right away. When I went out with her, there were finally activities I could afford. I could also treat Bai Yueqing to a nice meal. We laughed out loud. We messed around to our heart's content. I finally understood the feeling Bai Ningbing had before. So this is what it feels like to have a partner you can just be silly and bicker without. Over the past few late nights, I even asked myself, do I really like Bai Yueqing? I don't know the answer, but I know one thing. It's really been a long time since someone kept me company, playing around and laughing with me. It's been like this for a very long time. When the kids in the village were playing, I had to go home to chop wood and cook, because I didn't have a mom and dad. I had to mature early, but back then I had my grandparents with me, so I wasn't lonely. Later, I found my mom and dad. But life got even worse. Not having enough to eat during my teenage years, the experience of starving and freezing was etched into my bones like a nightmare. Over the years, I've always lived in the terror of returning to poverty. It wasn't until I saw the numbers in my bank account slowly growing that I felt secure. I'm truly grateful to Bai Ningbing for that, but my heart had been lonely for way too long. So, when Bai Yueqing brought out the cream cake she decorated herself to celebrate my birthday, I couldn't help it. I secretly called my grandma and told her I had saved enough money. This year, when it's time to harvest the wheat, I'm bringing someone back to meet her. I turned around and saw Bai Yueqing smiling softly at me. The evening light gave her silhouette a golden glow. Even though she was wearing my nerdy sweatpants, she still looked like someone from a different world. At that moment, I swallowed back the words inviting her to my hometown. I must be crazy, actually thinking about bringing a young heiress to the countryside to feed chickens. But Bai Yueqing didn't give me a chance to reconsider. She saw through my hesitation and struck while the iron was hot, asking if I wanted to go to her house and meet her parents. Maybe it was because the cream that day was too sweet and went to my head. In a moment of impulsive excitement, I said yes. When I saw Bai Ningbing again, it was at the Bai family's old mansion. I knew this day would come, but facing her still made me nervous. Seeing Bai Yueqing and me holding hands, Bai Ningbing frowned deeply. Father and mother will not agree to you two being together. Her tone was very calm, and her words were objective. For a moment, I wished I could become an ostrich and bury my head in the sand. But when I looked up, I froze. Those floating comments surrounding Bai Ningbing had inexplicably all turned a glaring red, filled with vicious malice. Go die, you toxic woman. And I actually thought of her as the female lead. If you can't love Qiang, what kind of L are you? The LSF'd loving him just because he revealed his identity early. Do you love Qiang for who he is? Or for his poor boy status? Status means nothing. Calling you the female lead is giving you too much credit. Without the FL's redemption and the second L's protection, what is our Qiang going to do? The plot is totally ruined. I'm dropping this. I want a refund. Bai Ningbing just stood there, expressionless, surrounded by those hateful comments. You could tell those commenters were furious. They didn't even have time to roast me. It was only then that I noticed that she who usually cared so much about her image now had several faint paper marks on her face. Also, right at that moment, the door in front of us creaked open. Fang Qiang walked out with red eyes. Mother Fang was behind him, elegantly and expensively holding a cup of tea. I am an open-minded parent. I've always valued my child's opinion. Miss Bai, please refrain from visiting casually in the future. Fang Qiang had tears on his face, looking completely humiliated. He had changed back into his rich young master outfit, no longer playing those commoner games with Bai Ningbing. Seeing Bai Ningbing still there, he wanted to go up and say something to her, but she just kept her eyes fixed straight ahead, completely ignoring him. So Fang Qiang redirected his anger at me, and at Bai Yueqing, who was protecting me. His face twisted with mockery and hatred. He said, "It's you again. Are you really that vain? This isn't a place for someone like you. Do you have to force your way in no matter what?" He got more and more worked up, even taking a quick step towards me, raising his hand high. But the next second, Bai Ningbing caught his wrist. The Fang family's business is in trouble, and they're trying to use their daughter to turn things around. Fang Qiang, you dare to change your identity to hit on me. You're not exactly a saint yourself. You'd better figure out where you stand right now. I don't want to make a mistake. If I wasn't mistaken, Bai Ningbing seemed to be standing up for me. Hearing this, Fang Qiang looked back in disbelief. The comments surrounding Bai Ningbing started scrolling even more frantically. They used every vicious word imaginable to curse her out. Seeing this, Bai Yueqing pulled me along to walk past them quickly. Ignore them. They're crazy. I totally agreed, nodded, and shifted into stealth mode, sticking to her like a scared little quail. I was terrified that as we passed them, one of those two would suddenly snap and beat me up. But when we passed Bai Ningbing, I only heard a barely audible "I'm sorry." It sounded like she was talking to me, but I didn't catch it clearly. Inside the room, Madame Bai was already waiting for me. Having seen how she just roasted Fang Qiang, I was seriously nervous. But Madame Bai didn't give me a hard time. She was even quite polite. Just like Bai Ningbing, she very subtly showed me their daily life. The things she wore on her wrist, the clothes on her back, the items on the table, any random thing, was something I couldn't afford even if I worked half my life. At that moment, I understood the message Madame Bai was trying to convey. Bai Yueqing and I have always been from two different worlds. Even if she can eat junk food with me now, stay in my tiny rental to watch movies, and we can smear cake frosting on each other's noses, our paths in the future still won't intersect. I can't offer Bai Yueqing any kind of support, and I definitely can't have this rich girl go back to the country to farm with me. Instantly, my frosting-filled brain cleared up. I spaced out a bit, not really registering Madame Bai's words. Instead, my mind started calculating where to lease a piece of land to build a farm after I went home. Noticing I was zoned out, Bai Yueqing's smile gradually grew pale, looking strained. In the end, I stood up and left alone. Bai Yueqing was kept behind by Madame Bai for a talk. At the door, I looked back at her. She had her head held high, arguing her case. Honestly, I really wanted to tell her not to fight with her family over me. In this world, not everyone gets to have parents who love them. I could tell Madame Bai cared about her a lot. She shouldn't make the people who care about her sad because of me. I lowered my head, feeling a bit down. Just as I stepped out the door, I was suddenly yanked by a huge force. As my back slammed against the cold wall, I was actually worried about my old bones. When I looked up, I met Bai Ningbing's bloodshot eyes. She had always been restrained and reserved around me, always expecting me to cater to her tastes, to guess what she was thinking. But right now, Bai Ningbing was completely losing it. Her hand gripped my jaw, and with just a little pressure, my eyes watered from the pain. But I didn't want to cry. I had cried in front of Bai Ningbing way too many times. At least this time, on the Bai family's turf. I didn't want to shed a tear. But Bai Ningbing's voice was full of gritted teeth. She told you to leave, and you still looked back. You really can't let her go, can you? Before I could answer, she suddenly bit down hard on my wrist. I instantly forgot about trying to act tough, let out a cry of pain, and the tears just started flowing. She said, "You let go of me so easily, but now you can't bear to leave her. Why is it okay for her but not for me?" That was a really weird question. She was clearly the one who broke up with me, but now she's acting like she caught me cheating. I rubbed my wrist, looking at Bai Ningbing, who was slowly being engulfed by those bright red subtitles again. The words were getting nastier and nastier. Some called her out for wanting her cake and eating it too. Some told her to just go die, saying they needed a new female lead. Those jumping words sent a chill right up my spine. Fear made me want to run away. But Bai Ningbing grabbed my hand. She said, "Fang Yuan, I can take you home too. I even have a way to make sure you stay here." I kept my back to her and didn't reply. "So let's get back together, okay?" She swallowed hard and finally sighed. "Xiao Yuan, I regret it. No thanks. I still have to go home and raise chickens." I rejected her flat out without even looking back. I knew Bai Ningbing had already looked into my background. She sneered behind me. "How much does a chicken farm even cost? Fang Yuan, you made enough for that in your very first year with me. What about the second and third year? You stayed by my side. Wasn't it because you genuinely cared?" Hearing that, I turned around and looked at her like she was crazy. I had to save up for living expenses too, right? Bai Ningbing's hand froze. I told her, "I want to open a chicken farm and build a house. And later, I have to farm and take care of my grandparents." I did the math. Once I hit 5 million, I never have to come back to the city. I had the chance to make more money, so why wouldn't I? Maybe she didn't expect this answer. Bai Ningbing's frustration, pain, and struggle were all written over her face. In the end, she could only hesitantly say, "Then I'll give you even more money. A lot more. You won't need to go back to the country to farm or raise chickens. You can live a great life forever. I can even bring your grandparents over here." "No need. I'm not that greedy." I sighed. And under Bai Ningbing's gaze, I finally said the line that people like her had been waiting for me to say for over 3 years. I've had enough of you rich people. Don't think money can buy everything. I stylishly shook off Bai Ningbing's hand and left, leaving her standing there alone, looking completely confused. After this stunt, even the comments roasting her died down. The comments were just as confused as she was, having no idea what I was trying to pull. Like I said, I have one great quality. I stay true to my goals. I said I was going back to open a chicken farm. So I'm definitely going back to open a chicken farm. At this point, I maintained my last bit of pride, held my head high and walked out of the Bai family's old mansion. And then, I had to walk 3.5 miles down the mountain, just to hail a cab. It was only while waiting for the car that I had time to feel sad about my breakup. I squatted by the road, holding my head, and wailed like a siren. I knew Bai Wesheng and I were over, even though we never really had a chance to begin with it. She really was a great person, even though it was only for a short time. And even though she was just one person, when she was by my side, she filled so many roles. It felt like I finally got my childhood playmate back, a confidant from my school days, and a mentor guiding me through the real world. All those connections I never had before, all the regrets I was too scared to look back on during my life journey, were all made up for just by her existing. So even if it was super brief, even if it was just a dream, I was totally lost in it. I just wanted someone to be there for me so badly. That night when I got home, I blocked Bai Yuecheng on everything. I knew the Bai family wouldn't let her out anytime soon. She was probably going to be grounded in their mansion. That's how all the dramas play out anyway. I laid in bed like a zombie for 2 days, and then started packing my bags. When I told my grandparents I was coming back to the village, they were so happy. They asked if I got a government job in the big city, and if I was just visiting. I thought about it for a bit, and told them I was coming back to run for village official. My grandma had a scolding ready to go, but she swallowed it down, and finally just forced out, "Fine, fine, if you become a village official in your 20s, that makes me look good too." Then my grandpa got on the phone. I could hear him sighing on the other end. He said, "Kid, don't blame your grandma. She talks tough but has a soft heart. She just doesn't want you wasting your best years stuck in this little mountain village. We're getting old and can't help you much. We just don't want to hold you back. When you were little, we were the ones flying the kite. When you flew high, we had to hold on tight to the string, afraid we'd lose you. It's different now. You're all grown up and successful. We have to let go of the string so you can be free." Hearing my grandpa say that, my nose started stinging. My eyes teared up again. I choked out, "Grandpa, Grandma, I'm not successful. I've been trying to fit in with these city people for years, but I just can't. They look down on me and make fun of me." My grandpa's sad voice suddenly spiked several octaves, instantly cracking. "Then you get back here right now. Hey, wife. It's bad." Me getting bullied was a huge deal to them. I heard my grandpa pull the phone away to yell for my grandma. The two of them ranted for a while, and finally concluded that city people are just evil. "Come back quick. Don't even bring your luggage. It's all made of plastic. It's bad for your health." My grandma was giving orders on the other end. "Catch an overnight bus back. We'll be at the village entrance to pick you up." I gave a muffled agreement. I felt a bit sad, but also a bit happy. After hanging up, I cleaned myself up and got ready to take the trash out. The moment I opened the door, I saw a somewhat haggard-looking Bai Yuesheng. Her eyes were still so clean and warm. When she saw me, they crinkled up in a smile. "You blocked me. I couldn't reach you, so I had to come find you. You should go, Bai Yuecheng. We're not a good match. Don't rebel against your parents because of me. They really care about you." I looked down at the tips of my shoes. Then I felt a weight on the back of my head. It was Bai Yuesheng. She had her hand on my head. She leaned down and rested her forehead against mine. We were so close. I could feel her fluffy eyelashes brushing against my eyelids. Even this close, she wasn't cross-eyed. She really was amazing. My throat tightened, and I felt like crying again, but Bai Yuecheng stopped me before I could start. She said, "Let's say a proper goodbye." She asked me to go somewhere with her. Our last day, she took me to the old bookstore where Bai Ningbing and I first met. Actually, I never understood why someone as rich as Bai Nangbing would come to a place like this, but she really did come that day, and she saw me, sitting in the corner chair of the bookstore, crying secretly. Back then, I was just there because winter was coming, and I was too broke to buy warm clothes. I was freezing so bad that I came here to leech off the AC. Saying I wasn't sad would be a lie. I looked at the cold street outside the glass window, thinking about the bookstore closing soon, thinking about my grandparents waiting far away, and my hopeless life. I just couldn't hold it in, and started sobbing. Then Bai Ningbing tossed me a card, said she'd give me money, but it would cost me my freedom. I was literally starving. Who cares about freedom? I eagerly followed her, and now, Bai Weicheng pointed to the corner where I used to squat, and looked down. She said, "Actually, my sister and I have always had a bad relationship, even though she never shows it. I know very well that as the eldest daughter, strictly raised to inherit the family business, she's always resented our parents for spoiling me." I looked down, listening quietly. I thought Bai Yueqing was going to tell me about the pressure of being the second child, or how much she hated Bai Ningbing controlling her life. But she didn't. She just told me she's always felt guilty because she's personally witnessed Bai Ningbing stepping out of line twice. The first time was when she randomly followed an app recommendation to a used bookstore to hunt for books, and right outside the glass window, she saw a boy crying miserably. It wasn't her first time seeing him. When she was working a summer job for her parents, she once represented them to negotiate a project with a small company. He was the intern in charge of pouring water and printing documents. She didn't have a deep impression of him at first, but as she was leaving, she walked past the pantry and heard the veteran employees sighing, saying this boy was hardworking, but unfortunately, college grads are too expensive to hire now. He was bound to be let go. When she walked out of the building, she saw him waiting for the bus, stomping his feet in the freezing wind. He was on the phone, laughing and saying, "It's okay, Grandma. I'm almost done with my probation. Once my job is stable, I'll bring you guys to the city to visit. City people are really easy to get along with." He was smiling. His voice was smiling, but his eyes were crying, because Bai Yueqing knew he was lying. The small company he was at, to boost profits, had slashed a ton of jobs. Competition among employees was fierce. Those so-called seniors probably just treated him like a pack mule. Back then, Bai Yueqing didn't do anything. She'd had an easy life since she was born, and always thought that as long as you work hard, life gets better. She believed that young man would have a happy ending, until she saw him in thin autumn clothes, shivering and swallowing tears in the used bookstore. That day, feeling sympathetic, Bai Yueqing wanted to push the door open and go in, but got distracted by something else. Before she left, she made her very first request in years to Bai Ningbing, who had been ordered by their parents to hang out with her, to bond as sisters. "Help him, sis." The one crying his eyes out over there. And then, she witnessed Bai Ningbing do something out of character for the first time. She never expected that Bai Ningbing's idea of helping was keeping him as a sugar baby. When she saw him again, the shy boy had a completely new look. He was dressed totally according to Bai Ningbing's taste. He had become Bai Ningbing's boy toy, brought into high society by her, nervously sticking to Bai Ningbing's side, never leaving her for a second. Those sycophants surrounding Bai Ningbing all looked down on him. They even openly mocked him for being just a plaything. But he didn't get mad. He just quietly gazed at Bai Ningbing with eyes full of adoration. Back then, Bai Yueqing was basically drowning in guilt. She couldn't even tell if she was more pissed off or more heartbroken. She knew Bai Ningbing's future was already set in stone to pick a rich heir from Yun City's elite circle to marry. She stole a guy's heart, but couldn't give him a future. Her little whim totally ruined an innocent person. The guiltier Bai Yueqing felt, the more she couldn't stop paying attention to him. She wanted to make it up to him somehow, but realized she couldn't give him anything. Bai Ningbing could give him material things and shower him with money, but that boy looked so incredibly lonely. At parties, when everyone else was hanging out in groups, he would just secretly watch them walk away. He wanted company, But Bai Yuecheng couldn't make it official with him. Until Bai Ningbing cheated for the second time. Bai Yuecheng knew her chance had finally come. Bai Ningbing fell for another guy. Equally poor, equally resilient. He would even furiously stand up when Bai Ningbing offered him money, and self-righteously tell her, "Don't think money is everything. Nobody's dignity deserves to be trampled on." His disguise was flawless. But Bai Yuecheng thought it was fake as hell, whether it was the chill vibe he accidentally showed when Bai Ningbing took him to luxury spot, or the lavishness he slipped up on. In the little details, it all just felt off. She didn't understand how her super smart sister couldn't see through these cheap tricks. When Bai Yuecheng got mad and confronted her about what to do with Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing actually gave her this super weird and ironic look. She said, "If you like him, go after him. Anyway, as long as you pay him enough, you can buy his love." That time, Bai Yuecheng literally punched Bai Ningbing right in the stomach. She dropped a cold warning. "If I go after him, you won't have a chance anymore." How did Bai Ningbing react back then? Her long eyelashes drooped, hiding her eyes. She said, almost giving up, "He's just a gold digger." Whatever. So that was the whole story. Outside the bookstore, Bai Yuecheng looked at me, her eyes full of guilt. She said, "I'm sorry, Fang Yuan. I lied to you. All that stuff about trying to piss off my sister, or hating gold diggers, it was all fake. It was just an excuse to get close to you. Our so-called instant connection was fake too. I've been watching you and looking into you this whole time. I just wanted to make you a little happier." "It's fine," I sniffled. I said, "Bai Yuecheng, you're the last person who should feel guilty about me. Besides, my life really isn't as bad as you think." The evening breeze blew gently, scattering my words. In this little corner of the world, we even kept our breathing super quiet. I said, "The only reason you feel that way is because you're genuinely a really good person. I'm truly happy I met you." The day Bai Ningbing pushed open that door, I thought I'd met a soft-hearted angel. But she was always so cold and distant. So I kept warning myself to guard my heart. I never expected that outside that glass window, there was someone else watching me, way before I even knew she existed. She was already feeling heartbroken for me. "Can I kiss you? Just as a goodbye?" Bai Yuecheng looked up at me, her eyes shimmering with tears. I nodded, and slowly closed my eyes. Then, a soft, careful kiss landed on my forehead. So solemn, so gentle, with a heavy, sincere sigh. As her gentle breathing pulled away, I still heard Bai Yuecheng's slightly hoarse and fragile voice. "Fang Yuan, I kept a lot of secrets from you, but my feelings for you were 100% real." Before I could even react, she leaned in again and hugged me tight. We held on to each other. For a second, my heart was pounding against my ribs. But when I looked up, I saw the comments going crazy again. Immediately, she pulled her arms back and used all her strength to shove me away. A blinding white light and a blaring horn hit us. The contents of those comments flashed, in my mind in slow motion like a montage. "This damn plot, the second L and the side character kissed. Who's gonna silently protect our Qian now? Even the FLL is useless now. I'm gonna drop this if it keeps going like this." It's fine, this plot point is in the original novel too, because the evil side character messes things up. Both the L and second FL misunderstand Qiang. Once Qiang has a breakdown and runs into the street, and accidentally runs over the evil side character, the FL will still come clean up his mess. After that, their misunderstanding gets cleared up, and they still live happily ever after. Was that really an accident though? The male lead clearly saw the side character by the road, and purposely swerved towards him. That's literally murder. "Run, Fang Yuan." The blinding headlights burned my eyes. The screeching of brakes pierced the air. The last comment burned into my vision. "The kind male lead you're all praising is committing murder." With a massive crash, a figure was sent flying through the air. I rolled into the bushes by the sidewalk. I scrambled and crawled a few feet forward, before I dared to look back, only to see Fang Xiang stumble out of the car, rushing over to the person lying on the ground. It was like his soul got snatched out of his body. He collapsed onto the street, shaking helplessly. Fang Qiang, what the hell are you doing? Bai Yuicheng ran up from behind and yanked me up. Still in shock, she checked me from head to toe. Seeing I only had a few scrapes, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. But my face was dead serious. I pointed at the pool of blood behind us and said, I think something happened to your sister. I figured out the pattern a long time ago. Those live comments only show up when I interact with the main leads. Like when they show up right in front of me, or when Bai Ningbing calls me, even if I'm just biking over to see them. As long as there's a connection to the main leads, the comments will appear. So, this time, the second I saw the first line of text, I had already reached out and shoved Bai Weiqing away. Then I threw myself hard into the bushes by the road. Fang Qiang must have panicked. Terrified he wouldn't hit me, he violently cranked the wheel and floored the gas. But he never expected to hit Bai Ningbing, who ran out to save me. Nobody knows why Bai Ningbing was even there that day, just like I could never figure out why Bai Ningbing, who was always so cold to me, who always looked down on me a little, would risk her life to save mine. Luckily, her injuries weren't life-threatening. Her leg got hit, so she'd be bedridden for a long time. Even so, the Bai family fiercely held Fang Qiang accountable. There was no way he was escaping jail time. After losing their golden boy Fang Qiang, the Fang family suddenly remembered me overnight. They tried hitting me up, wanting me to come back to the Fang family. Sorry, us chicken farmers need premium qualities like bravery, attention to detail, and passion. You rich folks are way too dramatic. You don't meet our standards. We can't be family. I rejected them, using the exact words Mother Fang used to insult me. For a moment, I just felt incredibly refreshed. Later, when Bai Ningbing woke up, I went to see her. She was lying in the hospital bed, watching the breeze and falling leaves outside the window. She looked so much more relaxed. The moment I walked in, she spoke first. She said, "Let me tell you a story." She told me about a girl who was different from everyone else since childhood. She was always surrounded by floating texts. They called her the female lead, saying she'd meet her destined guy, and her only mission in life was to be spoiled rotten by him. At first, she was totally dismissive. Her life was her own. She had so many plans since she was a kid, so many goals. She didn't believe her whole life was just meant to be a romantic subplot for some guy. But reality didn't care what she thought. Unfortunately, the comments started coming true. After her parents had her little sister, they paid way less attention to her. Their nanny had sticky fingers and tried to steal. Her so-called friends were totally fake and secretly hated her guts. All these things, the comments spoiled, started happening one by one. Slowly, she went from wanting to fight back, wanting to prove the comments wrong, and prove she controlled her own life, to eventually giving up and losing faith in people. The comments spoiled way too much for her, making her trust people less and less. Maybe her life was just doomed to be this depressing and boring. That's what she thought, until one day, the comments said the evil side character was about to appear. According to them, he was a money-grubbing guy who would use her as a stepping stone and dump her. And then he'd regret it and come crawling back to ruin her relationship with the male lead. For no particular reason, she suddenly really wanted to go meet this so-called side character. It just so happened that day, her parents told her to go buy books with her sister. So she naturally pushed open that door and walked right in. The gears of fate started turning. That day, Bai Ningbing brought me home. She was waiting for me to act like a total menace like the comments said. But slowly, she realized I was different. At least, not the guy the comments described. Even though I loved money, I never asked for too much. I only took what Bai Ningbing gave me. I was even super timid. Maybe that was my high IQ way of playing hard to get. That's what Bai Ningbing thought back then. That's what the comments said too. But when the so-called male lead finally showed up, and Bai Ningbing was supposed to break up with me, I didn't act like the comments predicted and cling to her like a leech. Everything started changing. No, it changed a long time ago. Bai Ningbing looked at me with those dark eyes, her gaze firm. I fell in love with you, Fang Yuan. I can't follow the comments script anymore and blindly simp for Fang Qiang. But over all these years, the comments had given her so much insider info and helped her dodge so many bullets. She was used to relying on them. But honestly, I was just too much of a coward. I was scared they were telling the truth. I was scared that after giving you my heart, I'd find out you were just trying to scam me. Just like so many times before. So even after we broke up, she never stopped testing me. Until I stood right in front of them and exposed Fang Qiang as a fake heir. Those comments practically exploded, screaming that the plot was ruined and the storyline was altered. It was in that exact moment that Bai Ningbing finally realized those comments could only give her information. They couldn't force everything to follow a set path. She'd been brainwashed by them all these years. But luckily, she finally found their weakness. To break free from them, she started rejecting Fang Xiang and taking back the affection the comments forced her to show. Sure enough, the plot broke down. Comments like dropping this popped up more every day, but at the same time, she felt incredibly free. Too bad I woke up too late. Fang Yuan, you must really hate me now, right? I shook my head. At the end of the day, Bai Ningbing gave me so much money and helped me through my toughest times. I definitely didn't hate her. I asked her, what about now? Those mosquito-like comments buzzing around you, and the chains in your mind, are they gone? As if she didn't expect me to actually care about her. Bai Ningbing spaced out for a second, then smiled. They vanished. The moment I tried to take that hit for you, they were screaming about the world collapsing. Then, they all shattered, and never came back. As for the ones telling me to go love Fang Qiang, they left ages ago, saying our vibes didn't match, and they were dropping the story. That's awesome. Hearing that, I let out a sigh of relief and gave her a genuinely happy smile. I said, since you're okay, I'll get going now. Bai Ningbing, I wish you all the best. Your future is finally in your own hands. With that, I turned to leave. But Bai Ningbing called out from behind. Actually, I could go back to the country with you. She looked at me and said, hesitantly, look at me now. I might be crippled for life. The company will definitely go to Yueshan. I'm useless staying here. Can you take me with you? Her eyes were full of hope. The once untouchable CEO now looked like a pathetic little stray puppy. But I just left. When I walked out of the hospital, I didn't see Bai Yuecheng. The sky was still so clear. Now, I wouldn't easily feel cold anymore. I was ready for a fresh start. When I got back to the village, I saw my grandma from miles away, charging at me with a giant broom. You brat! If you're delayed, you tell us. You made me eat dust at the village entrance every day. My heart skipped a beat. I instantly dodged and scurried away, apologizing non-stop. Luckily, she wasn't actually going to beat me. She smacked me a few times and shoved a manure scoop in my hands, telling me to go work the fields. After moving back, life got really fulfilling. Occasionally, I'd still think about Bai Yuecheng, and my heart would ache a little. 5 months after coming back, I saw a familiar face at the village entrance. The village chief was bowing and scraping to her, smiling so hard his face was about to crack. He quickly introduced her to me. This is the big boss from the city. She's investing in a huge chicken farm here, creating jobs so everyone can get richer. Bai Yuecheng looked at me and raised an eyebrow. Running a company is too exhausting. I dumped it on my cousin and I'm never going back. I plan to travel the world instead. Open a chicken farm or a ranch and be the big boss. Right now, I'm missing a boss. Are you in? Under the bright sun, I smiled so hard, my face hurt. I sprinted over, wrapped my arms tightly around her waist, and picked her up. Oh yeah, I'm the boss now.